Happening, everyone? We have V4, baby. V4. I'm pumped up. I just had some caffeine, and not that I needed it, but I was like, yeah, I should probably do a little bit. And I've been adjusting my script. So if you all don't know, I don't have a PulseChain validator. It was for V3 setup script, which helps. I estimated 85% does 85% of the work for you to set things up on your validator hardware, assuming you got it. And I was clipping some vintage RH stuff. I'm fucking addicted to it apparently. But I'm trying to wean myself off of that, but because I've got like 250 clips so far, I'm like, what number is enough? What number do I get to where I'm just like, I don't want to clip it anymore? Apparently I haven't reached yet. So I was doing that the last few minutes, and then V4 on Telegram, I saw, oh, V4 is the Block Explorer was live. Whoa. I saw KDP tweeted about it, and then I tweeted as well about PulseX being up because I was checking the different links and stuff. And if you've been watching, if you saw the stream with Ben Duvard the other day, we talked about the different indicators and ways to see these things before they happen. Give you a hint that things are coming with certificate transparency logs and different DNS stuff. And I tried a few of those links to see if they work. I think the launchpad is still, maybe there's some error on the launchpad. It's probably fixed by now. Even I tried it a little bit because I was, again, I started adjusting the scripts, changing basically V3 to V4, a couple minor tweaks here and there, and it should work fine. But I'm probably gonna be working on that tonight. And yeah, interesting times. V4 is out. It's live, at least most of it. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready to get the validator back set up and try all the features and take a look at the API and all that good stuff. So this was supposed to be a Hedron and HEX stream, but at least part of it is going to be a PulseChain stream because I know you all want to see some V4 stuff. So we'll click around a little bit and talk about that as well. Let me say out to the chat before I bring these two gentlemen in who are in the green room. Nazim Z15 with a Maximus logo in the background, I believe it is. 3 fire signs back to you as well. Godfather J6, good to see you. Good to see you. Vets and Crypto is here. What's up, man? Bang, bang. Chris, welcome, Chris. Good to have you back as well. Let's do it. Yeah, I know. This should be a good stream. I've been excited about it for a while. Ever since Dev Huey said that he wanted to come on, I was like, yes, I want that. And Giff wanted it too. So that's why we put this together. Fox Monitor V4, let's ride. Smooth sailing to V5. No, just kidding. I have no idea. It could be a V5, but people ask that, is there going to be a V5, V6, all this stuff? I don't think this is a slippery slope situation. I think the only reason we got V4 is because we need to not roll back, we needed to reset for, figuratively speaking, the network and try out the API stuff. And that was a critical parameter that required us to have a new version. And we could have did V3. I said this before. We could do a V3 and just reset everything, or why not do a V4? It just makes dev sense to do the next version when you make big changes like that. So that was just a dev thing more than anything. But the market reacted how it was. It wasn't bullish for the price, but or for the HEX price at least, as the chart showed. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I was going to say Donner. How was I going to say that? Dad Chonner Swans. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was trying to do some deal behind that. Dad Chonner Swans. I'll work on it, Chad. I'll work on it. I'll be more smooth than next time. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Crypty Girl's back. Thank you so much. Very nice comment. Appreciate you, Crypty Girl. Hope to see you at the meetup again sometime. I know we've been having some excellent Washington meetups and stuff. So a lot of local meetups are going great. So I hope to see everyone back there from out of town and all across the world. I know that RG3 and stuff, they're having a tour and they're going to be here. SJ and everyone's coming up. Black Hexkin, some other folks will be in the area locally as well. So we can't wait to host them and all kinds of cool summer stuff going on for meetups. So very, very excited. One step closer. No, I know, right? I was like, is he sleeping right now? Is he just passed out? I would like to imagine he's just so tired from the stuff. He's just passed out. So sure he'll wake up and be like, oh yeah, V4 is out, everyone. Yeah, what's up, Patrice? Welcome. Let's see. Scroll through. I started a little bit early today. I thought I was going to start at 4, but I'm going to start early because I know V4 was out and wanted to spend a little bit of time on that. Why no official RH announcement? Again, we are the announcement. The community found it out, so it's all good. 2 more weeks till V5. You never know. V5 mainnet. 2 more weeks, 2 more months. It is up in the air. Anyways, let's align the light. Nice name. I like that. Let's go. Hurrah from Refined Heights. Yeah, please. Awesome. Let me check the chat real quick, the other chat, just to make sure we're good to go. Cool. And it looks like we are. So I'm bringing the gentleman in. First up, welcome to the stream for the first time, Dev Huey. How's it going?
Hi Max, how are you? Good to be on the show.
Doing great, man. Doing great. Glad to have you. Like I said, in the green room, I know you've been lurking in the chat for a while, just pounding out some hexmodel.com stuff and otherwise just being awesome on Twitter. So glad to have you finally on the show, man.
Yeah, I know you've been asking me to join for a while, and I've been a bit stream shy, but I think it's time to finally join my first stream and hopefully have a good chat with you and your next guest.
Honored, man. Honored we could have you on the stream for the first time. Gonna be great. It's gonna be great for more than one reason. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about, but the other reason it's gonna be great because the other gentleman, Giff, welcome back to the show.
Hello. How are you guys doing?
Are you in shock and awe that Dev Huey is on the screen right now?
Hey man, you said he wanted to come on and asked if I wanted to join, and I jumped all over that. You know that. I'm excited.
Yeah, as soon as he said I DM Giff, and I was like, so Dev Huey said he wants to come on. You're in, right? You're in? He's like, yes. Yeah, so I didn't think it'd be a problem.
Yeah, hi Giff, you're my backup in case I can't think of the right things to say or can't answer all the questions. You're there.
I got you covered. No worries.
He's a good backup. Sloth's a little slow, so you can't always be the backup. But Giff, he's not gun shy. I'll say that, not gun shy. Gents, V4 is out. I'm going to put it on the screen here in a second. What first reactions? Let's start with Giff real quick. I know you just woke up and decided there was a stream that you need to attend to, but have you got to play with anything yet? What's up? Is today a good day or a bad day?
Nope, I have not looked at any of it yet, so I'm not a whole lot of help. I've been deep into doing my project, so I have not had a chance, unfortunately, but I probably will later on this evening. Maybe Huey had a chance.
Well, I've been busy on V3 mining the incentive token, and of course that's all gone now on V4. So I see there's just one farming pool up there now, like there was when V3 first launched. So it looks like it's reset. And then I was checking the watts of supply to see if I could figure out when was the fork happened, and I saw that the number of watts was like 21,717, which corresponds to like end of January, I believe. So looks like it was forked from around then, going by the watts of app.icosa.pro at least.
Nice. Yeah, it's so do we have I guess I don't expect it this soon, but do we have Uniswap for V4 yet from Synergy? Let's see. What was that URL? Was it like uniswap.hedron.pro?
Yeah.
Let's see. I wonder if this is still on V3 or
there's a V4.
Oh crap, there it is. We have V4. Nice. Okay. Synergy. Alex from Hedron, quick to the gun on that one. All right, cool. I mean, he probably saw it. He was probably looking, because I know they did some updates to the code, so he had the chain ID and stuff. So I don't imagine, I guess I don't think you would need for it to actually be released. You just need the chain ID, maybe something else to be like, oh, here it is when it's ready. So very cool. So yeah, actually, this is a good question. This is something I want to get to too. What is Uniswap.hedron.pro? Whoever wants to take it, like, where am I right now? What is going on?
Well, I mean, Uniswap is just an open source front end for swapping. So he essentially, if I'm not mistaken, just created his own front end that's attached to the same interface. Is that about right, Huey?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is what it came up was really interesting the other day when me and David Feeder got off the stream. There was a tweet about, hey, we were talking about pulling liquidity and what you should do in there and the things around that. And the tweet, I think from NT Fryer was the handle. I'm not sure I know them, but tweeted, hey, I used Synergy's Uniswap front end to unwrap my liquidity pool and stuff like that, and it seemed to work fine. So that's when Alex got in the thread, like, hey, I think not all the pairs are going to be taken by the AMM bot and all that stuff, and that really opened my eyes. Like, oh wow, okay, Uniswap.pro, like Uniswap.hedron.pro, that's going to be a part of the PulseChain stuff too, and people who have liquidity who keep it on there, sounds like they'll be able to get some of it off that won't get diluted by the AMM bot scooping it all up. So if anyone's listening who cares about liquidity providing and is going into the PulseChain launch thinking about make the fees versus maybe you lose the coins if the AMM bot takes care of the ETH pairs, that could be some stuff you need to consider as well. So this guy, what does he not build? I mean, he is gold standard, Maximus guys. Throw Dev Huey in there too. Gold standard of like building stuff that works for the community and like just helps us, figure stuff out and solve problems.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Sloth is special.
Utilizing pairs that do not include ETH in it or really stable coins. I'll be interested to see how thick those will be. And the obvious coin that jumps to mind, or the obvious pairing, it would be like a HEX Hedron pair. Or possibly a Hedron Icosa pair. Probably not as much, but HEX Hedron might be pretty huge because, correct me if I'm wrong, if you've got HEX Hedron pairs and mainnet launches, then your liquidity will not be bought up. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I think it's, I need to bring up the tweet now, but I believe it's only the ETH pairs. I think it's, Synergy was talking about HEX ETH, but maybe HEX USDC. There's other complexities, for HEX USDC. Do you want to be on the other side of that, getting all the USDC? Probably not redeemable. There's all that speculation. But for HEX Hedron, that's the interesting one where if you think both pairs will have value and you can unwrap them with the Uniswap fork that's can connect to PulseChain, then do you need to pull liquidity? Like there's the question there. Like, do you just want to get, if you can get your PHEX and your PHedron and you think they both have value, do you need to pull liquidity? I think that's have you all thought about more? I don't know how much Dev Huey, Gifford, like how much liquidity providing do you all do? And is there any nuance that you found that would be useful going into PulseChain launch? Yeah, that's a question.
I'm not a liquidity provider, so I think it depends on if the liquidity providers are aware of this this kind of fork at the front end by Alex. So if they don't know this exists, maybe, or any other front end exists, maybe they pull their liquidity in advance. But if maybe if they're well informed on this, they're going to just leave it and then manage it on the PulseChain side after the fork.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing liquidity for quite some time now. I would probably say, from my history of providing liquidity, is the big risk of leaving the pair is that you don't know what the ratio is going to be on the other side on PulseChain. And so typically I only prefer to provide liquidity when I know generally what the range that those tokens can trade in, the ratio range. And as long as the ratio range is in an area that I'm comfortable with exiting entirely 100% in one coin or the other, if I'm comfortable with that, then it's a good play. But if I don't know, so a brand new chain launching with all the copies, then I'm going to be a little bit more hesitant about providing liquidity just because I don't know, what the ratio is going to be. What's the value going to be with Hedron compared to HEX on the other side, right? Like that's something I don't know. So I only really want to provide liquidity either where I know, or if I'm comfortable with just using a V2 style liquidity providing where it doesn't matter the range, then that's kind of a different story. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense.
Well, I'm just thinking that what's the advantages and disadvantages of you're an LP provider now, just, maybe it's HEX Hedron, maybe it's HEX and another coin that you think will have value on PulseChain. Let's exclude ETH and USDC for a moment. what would be, why would you leave it in there? And then why would you pull it? You talked about the ratio of HEX Hedron, but if you're happy getting both sides, is the risk you're just going to get, if HEX is way more value than Hedron turned down on PulseChain, you're just going to get a bunch of badly ratioed P Hedron? Like, I guess, what is the case for and against pulling Liquidity?
I mean, really, yeah, it's going to come down to the ratios. Like, everybody's going to have their own kind of strategy of what they want to do with their copies on the other side, including nothing, which is also a strategy, right? So it just depends on the individual's strategy behind that, right? And when it comes to liquidity providing, I mean, you may have different reasons for doing that as well. Are you collecting fees? Is that the main thing? Or are you trying to create a healthy environment for these tokens to trade on, right? So you've got different reasons why you'd want to do that. If you're just there to collect fees, well, on the PulseChain side, you're probably going to want to look at those pairs that are going to earn you the incentive token, right? And being able to farm those. We don't know what those tokens are going to be yet, or even how that's going to be decided, unless I'm mistaken there. That hasn't been decided yet, right?
The ratios haven't been decided?
Which pairs are going to earn the incentive token, right? So like,
which pairs are going to? Is it?
We can assume that the PLSX and PLS will earn it, right?
It's at least that one. At least that one. Is
it?
I thought I heard K4K talking about this the other day. Did he say? Okay, it's at least that one. Maybe others, but I mean, I think a safe assumption is at least is you could say just that one for now. But maybe it could be others too.
So I mean, that's my case. I mean, that's my scenario. Everybody else's might be different. Like, I choose my pairings right now where I'm happy with keeping either one of those coins at the end of the day, but also I'm trying to maximize the fees I can earn on a daily basis as well. So that's how I select my pairs. So I'm not going to be comfortable with the pairs I have now over on the other side at 100% confidence ratio, right? So I have to see what's going to happen on the other side before I decide if I want to adjust that at all.
Well, you also have to factor in the extreme. So when do you make the most fees? During times of volatility, right? So if you think things are going to get volatile in the HEX community, especially going into PulseChain fork, providing LP, you got to risk, like, okay, if you're doing a pair of P, even if the ratios are very bad with HEX and Hedron, what if you make up for it in all the fees you provide by leaving it in there in the meantime as well? And if those get copied over, we won't, maybe, okay, but we won't, unless people are using Uniswap on PulseChain, because a lot of people are going to be using PulseX. Okay, yeah, there's a factor in that too. Will they because even if they get copied over, you can unwrap them, but I don't think PulseX will pick them up. So, okay, interesting. Please link the yes vets. I can do that. Let me drop it in here. It's just uniswap.hedron.pro, but I'll pop it in here for you all. All right, and then we'll move on to take a look at V4 real quick. What's up, Brandon B? Welcome. Let's see. So, yeah, here we go. So we got the farms back. LP, and this is where you can earn fees by putting up PulseChain, PulseX, and you can essentially stake that and earn the incentive token. And what else? What do you guys got on PulseX? You've noticed it's been pretty awesome, or we should show here on V4.
Yeah, on V3 there was 4 pairs that were given the incentive token. So it was Pulse and PulseX, which we have on V4, and then there was 3 other ones. So I think it was like a DAI and Pulse, DAI and PulseX, and then the incentive and Pulse. So there's kind of those combinations that were given the incentive token.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Yeah, we don't have any pulls. Yeah, I mean, everything just launched. So Liquidity. Okay. Yeah, I don't have a wallet connected, so I can't look at everything. Let's see. Look at the tokens. I wonder if the Pulse ramp, because I remember, what was the URL to? So we have Pulse ramp. wonder if that's connected to V4 yet. Yeah, I got to connect to Wall to look at a lot of this stuff. Oh, everything's still okay. Maybe we just got to load and do some stuff too. Okay, here's some. What is Tayaki? Slav gear. Okay, cool. And then let me put up the PulseChain. So let's look at the beacon. Beacon Explorer here is up. Cool. And I'll check on the launch pad here in a minute too. Yeah, things are happening. I know PulseX is working. I know people been doing swaps already. Let's see, sacrifice check or anything changed there. I'm just clicking around. If you guys see anything that you want me to click on, just let me know, or we should check out. Still there. Bridge coins. Yeah. This goes to Pulse Ramp. Crap. Let's go back to Hush. PulseX. Hush. Okay. That's the link still goes to V3, so need to update that one. Scan.V4. Cool. Yeah, still indexing the stuff here too, so that may take some time. Yeah, stuff's working. I'm excited to set the validator again and test out my new script, and I'll post it on Twitter, and it'll be on GitHub. I'll just update everything so it works as well. What else? Okay, cool. I don't know. Chat, what do you guys want me to? You guys want me to click on anything? Just looking at chat. Icosa on a nice pumpy pump. Really? Did it hit 66 cents?
Well, Hex pumped a little bit as soon as we went on stream. I credit you, Max, with that pump.
Is that where it came from, you think?
Absolutely.
My tweets that get several hundred views. Could have been.
Yeah,
where were we at? I haven't even looked at it.
Well, we bounced off a key ratio of like, what was that? Like just under 7 cents was pretty good support, and we were trading below that, and now it's got up to about 7.3 cents.
Okay, a full was it 12%? Something like that. 8%. No,
8.5%. Yeah,
8.5. Okay, let's look at Icosa real quick. 69. Of course, it's 69 cents. Nice.
Yeah, I liked Alex's tweet on the V4 that an opportunity was lost on version 3.69.
I know.
That would have been nice.
Could have been. If we were messing around, Giff, if we were messing around, Richard would do that. He didn't even tweet about V4 going live. You think he's worried about the special numbers for the Testnets?
No, he's ready to go, man. He's probably, his patience is probably about where we are. We're ready to play with the real thing, you know. When it's done, it's done. Though I know how software is. Trust me. So. Yeah,
well, I mean, we still got to put up for probably some more time of Fat Man needs to get a refund. Never going to launch scam coin. We got a little bit more of that to do until everything just becomes amazing and people get to sell all their bags they've been wanting to sell for 2 years. All those good stuff. What's up, chat?
Yeah. So just to kind of just real quick question. Did you see Mr. Graphics' Twitter lineup?
I did.
Talking about. Yeah, I figured. Hey, Huey, did you get a chance to read that? I figured you might have some insights on some of that.
Yeah, I think that's a big question at the moment. Is do you end stakes or do you compound? And people have different ideas. And I think Cryptographics did a good analysis of it recently. So I think what some people miss is that they make a case for one side or the other. But I think what Cryptographics has kind of captured here is it's kind of time sensitive. So it's going to change as we go through the next couple of months. So what's the best strategy now might change completely in 3-4 months.
Yep, absolutely. And at the end of the day, all you're really looking at is if I unstake and restake to compound, do I end up with more points than before or less points than before? At the end of the day, that's all that really matters, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm kind of big on 90-day stakes at the moment and just compounding as fast as possible. And that's kind of a good strategy while you see a lot of HSIs in the auction pool. But if that slows down in, say, 1 or 2 months, then maybe it becomes less clear then, and maybe it's better to hold your stakes.
Anyone know Crypto Kong's Twitter? I forget what it was. Somebody said he did a reaction video, and I mean, just the whole conversation has got me bullish on Icosa. Whether, I mean, either way, like I know Graphics has his position, and Kong is, apparently didn't concede, and I assume he didn't. I don't know. I haven't watched the video, but they both have different ideas about it. Either way, the whole conversation made me super bullish. Just even reading this morning, I was like, whoa. I don't know when I'm ever going to unstake my Icosa. I really don't. I mean, I don't know why I would, especially if you've held it for this past, 8 months or so. I don't know why you would. You're getting in that, and then if it gets more rare, then it gets more rare. I think we win either way. I think that was one of my deals as well. Let me see what I say on this. I commented. Where is it? I thought I retweeted it. There we go. Which is more bullish, being showered with extra benevolent yield or Icosa becoming more rare? Yeah. Question for you two. Which one is more bullish? If I frame that correctly. You done tweeting, Giff?
Well, I was just catching up with all the dude. I was like in it. I was in the Matrix again today, and time just flew by. And I just saw all your responses, all your messages. Sorry, I was trying to catch up. But
no worries.
What was the question? Sorry,
I was saying that graphics is a thread got me super bullish.
Yep.
But Kong, I think he brings out some good points in different areas too. Both of them. The conversation last week has just got me like, whoa! I don't know when I'm ever going to take out my Icosa. Either way, so being showered with extra benevolent yield or Icosa becoming more rare, what is more bullish in your opinion?
I think becoming more.
Go ahead.
So yeah. you go first.
No, Huey, you go.
Okay, so I think at the moment it seems like inflation is high, and people are making all this yield, and maybe they're dumping some of their yield. So it seems like we'll never get back to the arbitrage ceiling price. But I think Icosa is going to become rare in a couple of months, and because the T-share keeps ratcheting up, and then that's kind of in the equation. I think 2 times. And then the Hedron auctions might slow down a bit, so there's going to be a lot of demand, I think, in a couple of months for Icosa, and it'll become rare over time.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, and I found some pretty cool, interesting points on your website. I don't know when we're gonna pull up your website, but
we're not doing that today, Giff.
Not at all.
No.
Do it.
Do it. You stick to the script, all right?
I didn't read it yet. It's my fault. It's always my fault.
Kind of is, Gift. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. What? Yeah, we're gonna pull it up here in a moment. But I guess I could had a process. Okay. All right, I'm gonna pull it up, and then we're gonna get into. Yeah, I forgot. Dev Huey's got its. We got to talk to Dev Huey at some point too. But yes, how can I help you make your point with this? So I can click around.
So this is going to be fun. All right. Yeah. Go to your Icosa tab. And we're going to let that load. That's pulling a lot of information. That's one thing. Some people get a little frustrated at how long this loads, but I can contest it.
It's worth the wait
or
5
attest
seconds.
to the fact that it's pulling a lot of data. It's worth it.
If we can wait 2 years for PulseChain, we can wait 5 seconds for Icosa stats.
That's right. Roll on down to the Hedron staking. Okay, who's the top staker there?
Others. I assume this guy 16%.
And who do we know? Who is that?
Can I click Dev Huey or?
I'm doing the trivia and you just lost. Sorry, Max.
So
Huey,
I think
do you know?
number one is the God Whale.
Yes.
They made a big stake a couple of months
Yes.
ago.
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't know what you decided to do for trivia, but if I'm going too far into the trivia question that I posted earlier,
that was on the list. I must have missed that one. No, so
you didn't see it.
It's a freebie. It's a freebie. Yeah.
Okay. So that okay. So obviously that's the God Whale, right? And we know that the God Whale minted their 10x bonus amplifier on one of their stakes to get that much Hedron to then turn and stake it. So 16%, 16.4% of the pool is controlled by the God Whale, who has yet to sell or make any moves other than one stake minting and claiming the other stakes, right? So you're seeing a very large player collecting a very large amount of Icosa, and we might not ever see that Icosa hit the market anytime soon, right? We still, I believe that one is unlocking soon. Do you know when that one's unlocking, Huey?
So it's on the minimum days remaining. So I think it's 133. It's a bit small on my screen here.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to tell us a lot, because what if he unstakes that and he takes all that Icosa and stakes the Icosa and then restakes the Hedron? What will that do with the points in the pool right there?
Why would he end it though? Why wouldn't he just leave it in?
Because then he could have two stakes. He could have a Hedron stake and an Icosa stake. And if we're seeing the ratcheting up, right, with the T-share, and he knows all of this, and like the question is he going to make that move, or is he just going to leave it there for who knows how long? That's the question. And if we're gonna react to any sort of movement as far as how people are staking, I mean that's the stake we should be watching. So we still have a few months to really decide if the yield is really going to drop off the cliff or not. So that's just something to keep an eye on. Who knows what's going to happen though?
What's the case for just removing whatever Godwill has from supply based on his previous actions? Is that something we could factor in, like, as a weighting, even with either market cap or with, thinking of, deciding, not being nervous about this particular well?
What do you think, Huey?
I think something interesting, the staking behavior. Does this God Whale stay in the Hedron pool with the points, or does it kind of take a hit on Hedron staking points to get involved in the Icosa pool? So I think the Hedron pool is kind of flatlined and it's not growing so much. So it's kind of valuable to keep your points in the Hedron pool. Whereas I think the Icosa pool is about 40 million stakes at the moment. But I think when all of these whale stakes, the 360-day stakes come out, it could ratchet up to 50, 60, 70, maybe 100 million Icosa staked if everybody decides to in-stake at the end of their period.
And what would also be interesting is if for some reason, let's say he hasn't been paying attention, like he put his stake in, hasn't been paying attention, and he's got some sort of calendar alert to come back and check it out at the end of the year, and he comes back and he sees the yield in there. What are the odds that he has other stakes that he could mint his Hedron from and reproduce what he did here? Which then leads up to my question: how many HEX stakes have at least 100,000 T-shares in them and have claimed their 10x multiplier? That's the question I asked in our little chat earlier. Does anybody know? Is Sloth? Are you still in the chat? I wonder if you came up with the answer there, or if anybody else knows, throw up how many stakes exist with 100,000 plus T-shares that also claim their 10x Hedron bonus.
This is trivia right now. You get to win a HEX Model Pro membership If you come up with a question in the chat, surprise, we're going question number 1 right now. So you'll state the question just one more time, Gift.
Okay. How many hex stakes exist that have 100,000 T-shares or more that also claimed their 10x Hedron multiplier? And here's the hint. You can't get over 100,000 T-shares anymore. You can max out a Hedron or a hex stake and still not get 100,000 T-shares. Crypto Sloth with 4 is the guess. Anybody
got 4.
else?
What else we got, chat?
Five or so.
4. We got 5. 10 from Hexfetti.
What do you think? What do you guys think?
We're not allowed to guess. This is trivia. We got 2, 7. I hope you have the answer because that was the TBD on my sheet. So
no, it was hypothetical. I'm just playing.
Oh my god.
No, Iron Freedom. Iron Freedom just won.
And remove. No, just kidding. 1. All right, you got 30 seconds, chat. 30 seconds to get your answers in.
Iron Freedom already won.
Oh, okay. There we go. Iron Freedom.
He was the first to it. There's
Nice. 7. Awesome.
Now,
Iron. Yep.
Do you want to guess who those belong to?
I'm gonna go on a limb and say Godwell.
All 7.
All
different
7.
addresses, but these are his known addresses. All 7. One of which has 316,000 T-shares in it. That's a big one. That is a big one. That is basically maxed out and everything.
Wow.
So that is, that's something that I've been wanting to pull the data on for quite some time. And thanks to, the help of the subgraphs, I was able to finally pull that data. And it's interesting to see how or why the God Whale tipped his toe in. He dipped his toe in the staking from one mint, but he's got all these other ones that he hasn't touched yet, other than claiming the 10x T-shares.
So in your opinion, should we consider those coins, dormant? How would you factor if you're, investing in Hedron and Icosa, how would you factor in Godwell's moves into your model? Are you like, is he like the OA? Is he like a baby OA? What do you think?
Well, he definitely, from what I can tell, he aligns very closely with a lot of what Richard Hart kind of says and does and that sort of a thing. I think that as long as I don't foresee any reason for him to try to ruin his bags, right? He's got a lot of value tied up, not tied up, but just kind of given to him via Hedron. So why would he want to blow up his own bags, right? And
well,
if he minted them all,
right? Like he's stuck. He can't really. There's no liquidity to actually get anything from a lot of his stuff unless he's just planning on dumping forever.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's part of it for sure. I think the interesting part is that because he claimed those 10x multipliers, as we know in this ecosystem, the Hedron SA will receive all copies of those, right? So in the event, so let's look at a doomsday event, right? Let's just look at doomsday. Let's say he mints all of his Hedron and tries to force the price of Hedron Icosa to 0. The SA has tools in its arsenal to make the system whole again because of that bonus or the copy, if that makes sense. So, we've seen things like injecting a yield. We've seen that. We've seen burning. There's a lot of things that the SA could do to counteract such a move. But I think it's safe to say that the yield that we'll be getting in the future is going to dictate a lot on if what the SA does and what the Godwill does. So those are just two wallets you should keep an eye on. I don't think there's a clear shot, answer to this and what you should do, just based on what we've seen so far. But I don't know, Huey, what do you think? Is that something you're worried about?
No, so just thinking out loud, I remember somebody made the point about the OA having 20% staked, and there's a reason for that. So I'm just wondering if the Godwill is benevolent, then is there a reason that they want to keep their percentage kind of low instead of minting all of their Hedron and taking over the pool, which might be bad for the system in general? So maybe it's advantageous for them for the Godwill to maintain a lower percentage to kind of not ruin it for everybody else and keep the interest in the system. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's legit. Absolutely. What do you think, Max?
I was just thinking of, I'm kind of tied up in my imaginary horrible of, other than the OA selling, wouldn't it be like the worst day in the history of the ecosystem if the Godwill just starts forever dumping? I was just like, this whole dystopia just came over me. I was like, whoa. I know it's completely fan fiction, but I was just like, I never thought about the Godwill. Like, he's been so benevolent. He's been awesome for, Hedron, Icosa, HEX, of course. And, he's got some vested interest in PulseChain ecosystem too. But if that would just be the complete 180, right? It would be like totally against every action, everything he's ever done to actually sell any of this stuff, really, so I'm trying to turn it into like a good thing too. Like that's so, if that's the worst I can think of, and there's no reason to believe you would ever do that, like that's bullish in my mind.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
Panic. quickly sell my liquidity bullish, so it's too late.
Well, it's like this is something that has existed since day one. It's not like it just now became a reality, right? This is something we've always known. And I think the people who are really concerned about the 10x bonuses were talking about this sort of scenario from the get-go. Where I saw it is more of a scenario where, okay, there's a set number of 10x multiplied stakes, and those go down nearly every day as those stakes end, right? And then they leave the system, and now there's one less stake with a 10x multiplier on it. You will notice if you start pulling up 9x multipliers and etc., they dramatically drop off. The number in the amount of T shares are available in each one of those multipliers. So I think the only way to look at it, based on now that we have, over 6 months of history with Icosa and the staking, that if he wasn't pulling the trigger to be negative to the ecosystem by now, then there's no reason to think he's going to do it later.
Exactly.
It is number 2 on the Hedron staking list. Is that part of the trivia, or can we say what wallet that is?
Oh, I know that one.
Not part of it. No, this one.
Yeah, with the 5.9%.
Mm-hmm.
FDAD, the FDAD one.
Yes, we know this one won't end stake until 15 years or around then.
Until the max length stake at that time that it was created. So it'd be like a Quattrocinco from the date that contract was made, if I remember correctly. Does that sound right, Huey?
Yeah, sounds right. Yeah, and I think it was made when the auction started.
Yep.
Around then.
So that is the Poly Maximus address.
Oh, nice.
So that's the stake that it pulled.
Patrice called it. Nice. Very cool. I'm going to talk to chat, and then we'll move on to the next segment. That was number 5. So yeah, I guess I'll talk about trivia for a sec too. Giff kicked us off with number 1 on trivia. So today, Dev Huey has been gracious enough to give away 9 more HEX model pro memberships, and he'll talk about that here in a moment too, after we get through a few questions. But we have a tweet picker that will pick the 5 people who I believe retweeted a deal. So there's that part of that for the giveaway. And then there will be 4 more trivia questions that we'll do just like we did in the chat. First answer, fastest one to get to it. We'll get to that as well. But before we move on, and we'll get into Def Huey's story, do a HEX model review as well, and then go into some more trivia. Let me scroll up and talk to the chat because it's been a minute. So let's see. And then I had a couple questions in here. Sloth says, should I get to hear what Def Huey's voice sounds like? I know. It's funny, like people you don't stream with before or haven't talked to, in real life or on the phone or otherwise. It's always like, I wonder what they're going to sound like.
Yeah, so actually I've got a bit of a cold today, but was excited to come on the stream. So came on. I've taken all my meds, so try not to cough and sneeze on the stream to keep the audio clear. But so it'll probably sound slightly different next time.
Crystal clear here, man. Couldn't be better. We're not going to kick you off for sniffling a little bit. Don't worry. Let's see. 4D chess. That's true. That's the only game Richard Hart knows how to play. 4D chess. Let's see. Yeah, why no official RH announcement? What's the over and under that Richard's sleeping right now? He's just really tired. What do you guys think?
I mean, probably.
It's a very important question, Giff. Take it seriously, okay? I assume he's sleeping. I don't know. Like, why wouldn't he do it if he was probably like, okay, here's my, quick scenario. Last night, whatever time zone he's in European of some sort, I believe. He was just like, working with the devs. Okay, we're almost done. And then he's like, all right, guys, you guys got it from here. Just ship it. And then, he took a nap. That's what I'm going with.
It makes me wonder how the mainnet launch, will be. Like, could it be a stealth launch? Like, could there possibly be mainnet, released, tonight or the next couple of days in secret?
Let's go into that because I don't usually entertain it. But I kind of, I haven't dug into like what is the case for and against the stealth launch? To me, I'll kick it off. To me, I don't think there'd be a stealth launch just because I haven't seen a history of a stealth launch. I feel like we've been doing this so long where I'm like, I don't like the dev part of me too is kind of like, hey, the more time, the better, testing out V4, getting the people who are doing projects on there, prepping the big boys who have all the, the top 40 wallets, all that stuff, and everyone getting ready. At the same time, he did say it could launch at any time, although he said Testnet V3 would be the last one, blah, blah. So there's this, okay, which parts is he super serious about? That's kind of hard to say. But I think the question I would pose to both of you is, what would be the benefit in a stealth launch? Like what could you see that he would see a benefit in doing it versus, we got 2 more weeks of testnet, I just out there. What do you guys think?
I think the main benefit is to avoid, kind of the people playing the game and gaming the system. And we kind of see history of RH avoiding this with the big payday, where people thought they were going to get a big yield for staking for one day. And then the OA came in and staked like 99% of the coin. So people trying to game it for one day didn't get as big as they thought. So based on that, I think if there's kind of any possible shenanigans that could be done by knowing the fork height, it makes a lot of sense to have that a bit of a mystery so people can't take advantage so everybody gets the same deal.
So stealth launch, and just to be clear, stealth launch not meaning that it could launch tomorrow. It could be a stealth launch in a month from now too. It's just what is the case for no notice? Why is that better or worse? But yeah,
it would include like making us wait another 4 weeks, 8 weeks is also stealth because you expect it, and now people can expect it now within 2 to 4 weeks. But what if it's 6 or 8 weeks? That's also kind of kind of tiring people out and stealth in the opposite direction.
Would it still be stealth if it was May 15th?
Not at all. That would be 100%. Everyone would be expecting that.
100% uptime, Giff.
100%.
What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I don't see the appeal of the stealth launch at all. I don't. I think there's
more.
I mean, it's a community, and we're all very much interacting and invested in this launch, this PulseChain launch. I mean, for starters, we're going to know from some key validators the second that, you know, a block needs to be validated, right? So, I mean, I don't know. I don't see a whole lot of advantages from it. I think him just basically saying that, you know, you will not get any more warnings on when the mainnet goes live, which, you know, sets the block height, and then, you know, validators are going to have to be notified somehow. I think it's just going to happen. It's going to happen all at once, and we'll start to. I would assume we'll see a live stream from him. I don't think it's going to be quiet. That's just my intuition.
Yeah, there's got to be a live stream attached to this to the launch. It's been so long. I actually don't know why he has been live streaming. I mean, just at least he did come to the HEX conference, but it's like, I don't know. I just would think, and now the HEX conference, next one's coming up May 18th, or end of May, mid-May-ish. I wonder if he'll be, you know what, I'm going to go with that. Just pure speculation. I think we're going to get through the HEX conference. It's going to launch after that. But if it launched beforehand, whoa, that would be crazy. But I'm going to go with that. I think that's the most likely scenario. And I say that again, I try not to make predictions. I don't like to be wrong, but it's hard for me to picture launch happening. Yeah, by exactly May, mid-May or whatever in the next 2 weeks. I don't know. So while we're on that topic, yeah, when do y'all think mainnet's going to launch? Why not while we're here?
Go ahead, Huey.
I think 4 to 6 weeks maybe. But I've no reason to say. It's just pure estimate, guesstimate.
Same page. What about you, Giff? Oh, that's a tough guess. I wish I could see the private network. That'd be fun. If I could see what they're actually working on, then I'd have a better estimation.
Now that Testnet V4 is out, there's always a private other network running before mainnet. That is the private mainnet, unless there's going to be another testnet. No one forget that. There is a devnet running right now that could become mainnet.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to guess, I would probably throw up more towards July.
Ooh, you're shooting out there. Okay. Yeah.
I think it depends if you're in the ASAP camp that RH wants this out as fast as possible, or if you think he's timing the market and he's waiting for another general crash in the market and launching after that.
Yeah, I mean, it's that age-old saying, you know, especially in the dev community, it's like you can't hire more devs to make the project go faster. Like, if anything, you could slow it down, right? So he's got his devs, so there's nothing he can do to make this PulseChain come out faster, right? The devs have to go through their process to get it done and get it done right. And until they're at that position, you know, we're not going to see PulseChain. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, I don't think Richard will tolerate anything less than 100% uptime, right? So, yeah, I think we're probably looking at least July. I think July is probably a good timing. There's a lot of good things happen in July in crypto. A lot of, like, July is a special month in crypto in general. So we'll see.
That'll be the 2-year anniversary of the full sacrifice as well, I believe.
I was going to say that. Yeah, that. And you got the Balaji made the $1 million Bitcoin bet. I believe that comes up in July. So there's that too. I think the thing is there's more banks he believes that are insolvent. And then the Fed's going to start printing more money to save them, and crypto is going to go nuts. So that's another narrative that's out there. Okay, cool. Dev Huey popping his chair. Just Dev Disney. I know. I'm looking at the duck. I'm like, yeah, actually, now I do see some. There's some Disney there. I don't really think about it that way. I think of hexmodel.com when I say that duck, not Disney anymore. You've reimagined the baby. That's not Donald. That's is that just baby Donald? What is that duck?
That's Huey, I believe. I want to get
it is literally Huey. Okay.
I need to get a pixelated version like Giff's avatar, so it's not Disney anymore. So
what's the other two? It's Louie and Dewey, right?
Yeah,
Dewey.
Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Yeah.
I don't even know the names. Nice. I'm gonna brush up on my Disney. You know, you need to pixelate them and then put like a cigar on them and then start selling them for hard cash. NFT bros. Scrolling. Hex Edits. Shout out to Hex Edits. There's a lot of cool stuff. Hex Edits made the Hedron mashup, which I found on Giffordware's Twitter today, and I retweeted because it's that good. It's very
Oh, that was the first time you saw that? It's been there for a minute.
Yeah, man. You tweet every 6 months, man. You gotta.
Yeah,
I need more engagement.
That's true.
I don't see your stuff a lot. I think Death You and Risk Grow are the same person. Conspiracy. Ooh, Fast Abdul. It's not the craziest thing you've said, so you never know.
I guess we'll find out if I'm still on stream and somebody tweets out the WhatsApp updates. Then.
Ooh. You can have an assistant for that. You could have a Louis putting out your stuff. Let's see. Just scrolling, and then we'll move on. Why is Alex wasting time on this exchange? He should be attaching monkey pictures to my Wattses. Monkeys are always first priority.
Well, first off, it's just an RPC change, so it's not taking up a whole lot of his time.
That's true.
But yeah, no, I feel you on that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I was trying to say earlier. It's just the change in RPC and then adding the button. It's just pretty minimal to support it. So not surprised he's that fast to it. Although we'll have to wait and see if Sloth ever adds support for PulseChain stuff before PulseChain stuff launches, so people can use it for data. Or does Dev Huey have to do everything for your website? Never know. Never know. Not a dig at CryptoSloth 369.
Yeah, if it's July launch, it'll give people websites more time to get their data line. So that's a plus of it being.
You can give this dude 6 months. He's just a last minute. Oh, sure, I got to do it. Yeah. Just kidding, Sloth. You're great at many things. It's just not being on time. He's here, so I could just keep bashing him. Let's see. Me and Sloth jest a lot, everyone. I'm not mean. I'm just a jester sometimes. Scrolling. Big Bearing Club today. I see. Appreciate to be included in that. I try. Appreciate that. It's directed towards me, Cryptographics. Good to see you. Yeah, Graphics got to meet him in real life the other day. Very, very cool guy. Just as cool as he is on Twitter and the YouTubes. Pretty awesome. He came by to say hi. Alex Santos, got to add 369 to those fires. All right, chat. Any other? It's F. Huey's Nomad changes. Yes.
No.
Oh God. Just scrolling. Retweeted. Thank you, Patrice. Appreciate that. Yeah, everyone, share the stream. We're probably about halfway through. We'll wrap up in the next 30, 40 minutes or so. We got some good stuff though. I haven't even got to the topics yet. We've just been messing around, and we're gonna learn more about Huey here in a moment. June launch. Yeah, there you go. Maybe. What's up, Crypto Truth? So many will be online May 18th. Yeah, that's true. May 15th will be a very busy Twitter's verse, I believe. Oh, here's one. Okay, benefit Hex starts lower and drops less after launch. So I believe that was the stealth launch deal. Hex starts lower and drops less after launch. That's actually an interesting point. The stealth launch could stabilize, but do we want the volatility? Like, I guess it depends on if you're someone looking to take advantage of the volatility or not, whether that's better for you. Does that make sense, gentlemen?
Sure.
God, that's a good answer, Giff. Glad you thought about that.
So many unknowns. It's very hard for me. It's very hard for me to answer hypotheticals. It's difficult. I need data. Max.
True. That's why we go to hexmodel.com. Great segue.
That's right.
Great segue.
Yeah, I'm the same. You got to back it up with data. You can't be speculating.
Just one thing on Arizona RC. Why are cards getting deleted? I'm trying to get it quick. Oh, so if you're not a mod, I believe it just automatically deletes your links and stuff. So it's not anyone doing it. That's just you're not a mod. So Arizona. So sorry about that. The correct web address to view Icosa supply. Did somebody post that?
That's what we were looking at, right? On HEX.
Yeah. I'll post it again. Arizona RC. I didn't know if it was that or something else. Post it in here, and then actually, I need to be right back. You guys talk to chat for just like 60 seconds. I'll be right back.
Cool.
Coach of Truth. I was just using V3 a few minutes ago. Nice. Yeah, you guys talk. I'll be right back.
Cool. I'm gonna interview you, Huey. First question: what were the biggest things you learned while building Hex model? Like, what were the things that like surprised you? What were the things that excited you, or what did you learn to or grow to hate when you were building that site?
So jumping right into the fun stuff. So one thing that I think I made a mistake was I started downloading transactions. And so first of all, I'm dev Huey. I'm kind of not a real dev, kind of more of a citizen dev or kind of a hacker dev. So I kind of learn as much code as I need to at the time. So when I started looking at these transactions, I just did as fast as I could to see if it worked, and I was downloading all the transactions to CSV files. And I spent like 3 months downloading all these HEX transactions because you're limited to how much requests you can do per day. And then it's all in CSV on my local laptop. So what I've had to do then was kind of rebuild that and automate that. So if I spent more time at the beginning to automate it, that would have been better. Because at one stage I
was just gonna say, but you learned a lot in the process, right? Like even you mentioning that you're limited on how many transactions you can pull on Etherscan. That's something I learned too when I was trying to compile a bunch of information, right? And then it's not just limited there. Like once you start moving into the next levels, like and you start pulling from subgraphs, like the queries from subgraphs, you're limited to 10,000 queries depending on the subgraph, or maybe it's all of them. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but,
I'm getting a limit of 1,000 on the subgraph I looked at, but yeah, maybe 10,000 on some of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's all an awesome learning process. Like just from what I've gone through over the last like 3 or 4 months, it's amazing what you can learn when you're constantly running into doing things wrong and having to redo it to do it better. So now that you've got things kind of more automated, what would be your advice to somebody who is building something similar?
What would be my advice? Well, before I get to my advice, let me think about that one. One thing that was interesting was kind of before ChatGPT, I was Googling a lot of things, and a lot of these things are not well documented, about the Ethereum blockchain. So I was doing so many Google searches, I actually unlocked a Google coding interview test. So Google, they kind of watch what you're searching for, and then if you're searching for interesting things, like I was looking up Ethereum cryptocurrency and cryptography, they thought that I was worthwhile, that I could apply for a job by doing a coding test. So I was doing this search one day, and I thought I was hacked or something because the Google search page just dropped away. And then I was presented with this, it looked like a kind of a scam or something, but it was actually this Google coding test that they call FUBAR. So that was definitely a surprise, just from looking up so many things. And now, of course, you've got ChatGPT, so you can ask that. So some things, like I was looking at the graph and I just couldn't figure out some things, and then I asked ChatGPT and just gives me the exact answer, so it gives me an answer, and then I say, well, no, but I kind of wanted it a bit like this, and then it just gives me exactly the answer then after a few prompts. So now anyone that's learning to code now, like, you're so lucky with ChatGPT. It's a really nice tool. And what's interesting as well, some of my colleagues use it, and if you ask it to do like a SQL query, it'll give you one answer. But then you can ask it, okay, imagine that you're a SQL developer with 20 or 30 years experience, and then you give the same question, it'll give you a different answer because you specified that you're a coder with experience. So there's kind of different ways you can learn to prompt to get really good answers.
Yeah, that's the key there. It's like there's an art to prompting, and I was kind of poking you a little bit because, like, now that we have access to something, an AI like ChatGPT, like there's a lot of aspects in life that people can use this to be more efficient. But my learning curve for coding just went through the roof once I started allowing it to be my assistant and show me how to do things and literally teaching me. So I think that's cool that you're using it as well as an assistant. It will not do everything for you. It's only an assistant.
Yeah, I've been reluctant to kind of use it kind of for everything, but when I get really stuck, I turn to it and usually it answers what I need. So yeah, that's amazing. Maybe one day there'll be a HEX model, a GPT, and you can just ask it for, give me the top stakers, or give me some analysis just by asking it.
Absolutely.
That's definitely on the roadmap.
That'd be cool.
The HEX model plugin, that's all you need.
The HEX model.
Mm-hmm.
Where can I subscribe to the Giff Everywhere podcast? It's getting pretty good.
Non-existent.
I like it. Not yet. Okay. Well, that's what I was going to ask too before we get into. We'll get on to HEX model and then do the picker and the trivia and stuff like that. But Dev Huey, just you want to spend a couple minutes on how you got into crypto and how you found this wonderful ecosystem?
Yeah. So I heard about crypto back in 2013, 2014. Where I was a stock guy back then, so I was like, these digital coins, they're going up and down, volatile. I don't have time for that kind of nonsense. So I didn't buy back then, because I was following, the usual stock news and things like that. So actually, I switched my career from engineering. So I used to do 3D modeling of engineering, doing calculations and simulations of engineering structures, and then I switched to data analytics and AI a few years ago in my career. So then I was in a Facebook group. We're discussing neural networks and AI and things like that. And somebody posted up this trading bot that for cryptocurrency that uses AI supposedly. So then I this piqued my interest, and then I started looking into crypto more and made my first investment and did all the things you're not supposed to, like I was trying leveraging the leverage exchange, and then I was very interested in trading bots, just from the kind of mathematical and modeling point of view. And so that was in 2019. And then if you watch enough YouTube, eventually you come across Richard Hart, and he's doing these 5 or 6 hour streams. So then I was kind of curious about HEX then. So that's kind of my introduction to cryptocurrency. So it's kind of involved in. So I wasn't a day one HEX investor. I think I put like basically bare money into HEX at day 20 to 25, like literally a cup of coffee amount of money, because I wasn't sure if this is doing 10,000x. I was kind of new to crypto, but it sounded like good principles. And then I actually bought Bitcoin as well to free claim, put a few hundred of dollars into Bitcoin and then claimed it, and made some stakes in with the claimed HEX, and then those are still locked up now because of course they're so small it's not worth it to end stake. And then I realized that you actually get a lot more by using the adoption amplifier. So I was just kind of getting nostalgic looking back at the 2019, early 2020, because it was such a different environment than it is now, with the amount of streams we have, the amount of people talking about it. So I made all those basic mistakes at the very start in HEX. So I didn't really take it seriously then until the big payday, and then I kind of got fully into HEX and kind of dropped all of the other coins and focused on the RH ecosystem then.
Yeah, I'm always amazed by the people because people got to come across crypto, at least for the last 5, 6, 7 years, and they either ignore it or they can't not get into it. Like they just can't resist. Like they must learn more about it. They must start trading. They must figure more and see how they can either make money or transfer money remote, like whatever they value in it. And it's always amazing to see, like, there's so many people who just, even me, like I'll go back. I was trying to figure out a few years ago, when's the first time I even heard about Bitcoin? And I think I saw it on, what is it? Bruce Schneider. He's a security guy. On his blog, he was talking about Bitcoin back in 2012, 2013. And that was, I saw that I'd sent myself a note to look at this article back in 2012, 2013. And of course, I can't remember if I did or not, or if I looked at it or what my response was. But so I didn't actually I didn't buy Bitcoin or anything until 2016, much later. And I always wondered just what goes through people's mind when they see crypto for the first time. Do they get into it then, or do they wait a few years later, or what is that thing that pushes them over the edge? Or some people, I feel like they're never going to get into it. Like most of my friends in real life, it's like they just don't get it. They're just like, no, they're not going to buy it until they're buying like tiny fractions of Bitcoin, and it's going up 12% a year and stuff like that. So it's just fascinating to hear people's story about it.
Yeah, so I was very interested in the trading bots, and what I realized is that they kind of work for a while, but then they break down because you got all these scam wicks on the exchanges, or they work in the bull market and then they're useless in the bear market. So eventually I learned that all those things are kind of waste of time, and then learned how to do the Bitcoin claim for HEX, and then learned what MetaMask was, and then learned what Uniswap was. So I learned all of the DeFi through HEX.
Yeah, that the free claim, that is what taught me about self-custody. Like literally that taught me, because I was carrying my Bitcoin on an exchange up until that point. And I was like trying to paste in my address from the exchange on there, and it just was not recognizing it. So I had to go down. I had to watch a couple more Richard Hart videos, and I was like, oh, I get it now. So that wasn't my Bitcoin that whole time. It wasn't. It was theirs, that they had written me an IOU, right? So pulled that off and
learned.
There it is. Yep.
That is a cool story. Both cool stories. So with that, let's do a quick overview. Like, I guess, Huey, what are some of the must-see pieces of the website? Maybe the stuff you use the most, or you've had the most people say, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, thanks for building that.
Yeah, so we can take it kind of starting with the homepage. So this is the HEX Daily Stats. So it's coming in live. I guess refreshed every second or so. So their API is refreshed that often. So this is the live data. And then I've added the Icosa and Hedron price along with the kind of arbitrary ceiling prices, which are kind of useful sometimes. So I've noticed the Icosa price kind of trending now between -80 and -75%. So I notice when HEX pumps, it kind of gets left behind and it goes to -80. But then if HEX kind of comes down a bit, it kind of goes up to 75. At the moment, it's kind of trending around 75% down. So I think that's also connected to the supply of Icosa, which we'll see on the Icosa page. So it seems like when people mint more Icosa, the price goes down to -80. So I find that interesting. And then the next section in is just the arbitrage prices with the actual ceilings, and then the Icosa that you get in the buyback. And correct me if I'm wrong, Gifford, I think this number keeps going down, which means Icosa is getting rarer. You get less Icosa per T-share as the T-share ratchets up.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's just kind of interesting live information. If you want to check it on your phone instead of looking up I like TradingView, but sometimes it's nice just to get to all the prices on one page for the ecosystem. And then we have some calculators that you can put in some numbers. You can put in the HEX price, you can put in the T-share rate, and then you can calculate what the ceiling price would be, or the arbitrage price, or how many Icosa you'd get back if you sold a T-share or a HSI, to the Icosa contract. So it's just kind of handy calculators there on the homepage if anybody needs them.
Yes. And have you thought about adding, or is there a reason to or not to add liquidity numbers or anything to HEX and Hedron sections? Or do you have that on the website somewhere?
So HEX Daily Stats has some liquidity. So I have the HEX Daily Stats full data on the HEX page, and I don't have liquidity there, but I'm going to add that. And then so liquidity analysis is kind of on my list of to-do things, because I think that's what drives price a lot. So it's definitely on the list.
Let's show my script real quick. Why not? If you're interested, anyone's interested who has a stats website, there's some code. I mean, you don't have to use the code, obviously, but like how I did it. I just kind of hard coded the pools. If there's an API to list all these pools, and that'd be cool. Let me know about that. But yeah, this just pulls it. It's just a console app that you can you can repurpose and put into as a backend script to pull this stuff too. Did you write the website in Python?
So the website is in HTML and CSS. So as I said earlier, when you were taking a break, I'm not a dev. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing. What I noticed was in the crypto community, if you write code, you kind of get a title like as if you're a doctor. So it was like watching all the streams, and they were talking about Dev Kyle and Dev Ruth. So when I was starting out, I was like, I'm writing code. I'll be Dev Huey. So
nice.
Dev Max, and Dev Giff. So yeah, citizen dev very much. So it's a very basic layout. As you can see, everything's kind of very basic laid out, but that's kind of on the to-do list as well, to make a nicer layout and make it more visually appealing.
But how do you pull? I mean, you have to pull this stuff from using some code, right? So what is your backend code written in?
Yeah, so it's just JavaScript. So it runs on the.
It's all JavaScript. Okay. Wow.
So this page is so this homepage and the HEX page are just JavaScript on the front page, pulling the API from HEX Daily Stats. And then the other pages are actually dashboards. So because of my data analyst background, I'm more comfortable making dashboards, and then I just kind of embed those on the website.
Very cool.
So what's nice about these charts is you can hover over them, and you can you get a tooltip, and then you can also use the mouse to zoom in on a particular area as well, if you want to zoom in on the more recent dates or a particular date.
Nice.
So yeah, there's more fields that I could add here, like the liquidity from HEX Daily Stats, but I wanted to kind of understand what was going on with the numbers before I added it.
Gotcha. And I haven't been to the Watsa section for a while either. I'm curious.
Yeah,
this is the crown jewel.
So this is people love these Watsa tweets. So what's interesting is it doesn't really make a difference. There's no intel. You can't really take action from other people burning Watsas, like you're in the pool until you decide to get out. So there's no action you need to take. And it doesn't really affect your percentage of the pool that much, but just people love to see a little bit of progress. And it's like every day we're getting a few out, and it seems to be a general good feeling for everybody to see some progress. So I'm really interested to see if, I think people will have because some people have like more than one Watsa, some people might have 15 or 20. So I'm really curious to see if people have like a ladder, and maybe they end one on their birthday every year, or at Christmas every year, or New Year's every year. Or is it different patterns, and we can see, well, that wallet is burns one every 3 months, so we can kind of forecast out. So really interested to see that behavior, as we get into 1 year, 2 years of Watsa.
Yeah, absolutely. That was something we talked about quite a bit back when you could actually mint Watsas, was like not just putting all of your eggs in one basket and like creating a type of ladder. I know it was very common to make different sizes in pairs. So like a couple 500 endpoints, and then a couple 1,500, a couple 2,000, that sort of strategy. And then to have specific dates on when you pull those, just like what you're talking about there. And so what would be interesting to see is if people start with their larger Watsas, or if they start with their lower ones on when they decide to burn or not. So yeah, this is one of my favorite pages of yours, Huey. This has a lot of fantastic information that someday, hopefully, I'll figure out how to tap into.
Yes. So this page updates every hour, and then we also see like the owner and the mentor. So the mentor is whoever minted it, obviously, during the mint phase, and then the owner will be the same if it hasn't been transferred. But some people might have transferred, to a different wallet, or what on OpenSea or something like that. So we can kind of see if it's the original minter or not. Then we can also see what they sacrificed as well on the charts on the right, so we can see the coin. So HEX and Hedron are colored in there, the USDC and Maxi. So what I'm curious to see is to do like an all-time graph of the different tokens to see which type of minter is the most loyal to their Watsas and which is the least loyal, or is it fluctuating over time?
Yeah, it's I feel like Watsas are not talked about enough for a few reasons. One, you can't mint them anymore. And if you want to acquire them, you either have to win them at a giveaway, not today though, or you have to get them. You have to, essentially overpay at least short-term value on OpenSea or secondary market somewhere, or somebody just has to give them to you, which I don't imagine happens too often, out of just pure friendship. Shout out to our friend Somi. So there's no chart. Dipcatcher mentioned before, I was talking to him about this. There's no chart to trade Watts's, like a trading view type chart. It's kind of I don't know. Is it good or bad that Watts's are so underground?
I think it's good. I think it's an insider's game. Like, honestly, it's an insider's. You had to be there and stock up on them. Like, if you get lucky enough to go out and start buying them off of a third party marketplace, you're not really getting the full effect, right? So I mean, this is a long play game for sure. But when we were talking about the whole compounding or not with the Icosa Hedron stakes, like, this is the ultimate long game, right? You can't compound these, nor would you want to, because you will never get diluted in this pool. So you would never want to end them to try to, like, you would never want to end and mint your Icosa just so you can go and start compounding 30 or 90-day stakes, right? Like, you'll never get a better deal.
Yeah, well, I think also it's interesting if you scroll down to the next dashboard, there's like the points that are existing and the points burned, and it's kind of flat line at first. So these two charts on the top right. So on the left is the total points in the pool, and then on the right is the points burned. So you can kind of see it's kind of flat until like day 160 or 140, and then it's kind of almost linear then. So I think that was around the time when the Watts kind of broke even from their minting cost. So it's almost been linear if you kind of average out the days since then. So it's like a constant rate of burning every day, which I was surprised with. I thought, the Watts are a long game, as you said, Giff, and it's not about just definitely, I think I didn't expect as much burning before 1 year at least. But I guess people put in their rent money, or they're chasing pumps, and they burn their Wattses.
It's pretty amazing the number of burns. I'm the same way, but I think that's just, the lettuce hands need. I don't understand the burning. Again, if you need something, you got financial responsibilities. You got to take care of something. I get it, but people are burning them with Icosa price down in what has been a bear market for a while, and you can't get them back. And unless you're going to stake, is that a question? I asked somebody this earlier. Oh, maybe I asked in the Telegram. Is it a strategy to burn them to get the Icosa to stake? We have better yield doing that. What do you guys think about that?
No.
Yeah, I think right now, or the last 6 months, it looks appealing to burn your Watsa and stake it because you can compound. But I think in a couple of months, Watsas will be the big winner in staking yield, because the Icosa pool will get so big, and then the Watsa pool is just getting smaller every day. So it's a game of patience with Watsa.
Yeah, and there's literally no option for the Godwill to snag a whole bunch of yield from that pool, right? Like, we just talked about how they've got he's got these other stakes that he could bend his Hedron in and throw it in the staking pool. We just talked about how you could pull his Icosa yield from the Hedron staking pool and put it into the Icosa staking pool, right? But there's no touchy, as Kool-Aid would say, no touchy on the Watts.
I can hear him saying it in my head now.
You can hear that, right?
Yes.
So yeah, that's the surefire game right there. If you got your Watsas, you hold on to those.
So, I remember during the launch phase when I started doing the analysis on Twitter, I was kind of watching to see, does the big whales come in at the end, and then do you get diluted? So it's just interesting to see that it was capped at like the $21 million that was invested. So that was kind of interesting to see if a big player come in at the end or not. So with the 21 million, I think, yeah, it's a deal. I was getting as many as I could at the time.
What was I going to ask? So you said a couple months. So Is that are you talking about the timing of when the seed from the SA winds down and the yield goes down, or what do you think in a couple months is going to be good for Watson and maybe Icosa?
Well, I think with Icosa, there's going to be massive inflation in the pool if people end stake and restake after the 270 days and 360 days. So that pool is going to get very big. And then also the HSI auctions are getting less unless we see an injection again in the next few weeks or months. So that means that the yield will slow down, I think, in Icosa staking, probably Hedron staking as well. But what's the it's the second best chart in crypto, I call it, because the points only go down.
Love it.
What do you think, Giff, about the comparison?
Which specifically?
Just what I was saying about I think there's going to be huge inflation in Icosa, so it's appealing now to compound, but actually in the long run, I think Watson will beat it.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously, yeah. I think that's 100% correct. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And anybody who's concerned about it, like I said before, you just check your points, man. Just compare your points. If it's worth compounding, go ahead and compound. If not, then don't. I've always been on the waterfall method. That's something that I've talked about since the beginning. And if you were waterfalling from the beginning, then you weren't really affected by a lot of the stuff, a lot of this, the outside influence that you couldn't control, right? So you were just giving yourself more flexibility. And I think flexibility is key with a lot of this stuff, is you want to be able to make moves if you need to. So keep your options open and keep an eye on the system. Yeah.
Question from Arizona RC: how many watts has been burned since day one? Is there a way to tell that?
Yeah, so I have that data here. So there was like 28 or 29 were burned during launch. So there was 22,091 was in total, but then after launch it was 20. When the launch phase closed, it was 22,063. So I think 28 were kind of burned during the launch phase, and then since then there's been 783 burned since. So that's one thing I want to add. So I tweet that chart out sometimes on Twitter, but I want to add it to this page as well to give the total stats that's on the to-do list to be added to this page.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was looking for the number, but I didn't see it here. Okay, cool. Anything? Well, maybe we'll look at one more thing on the HEX model before we move on to trivia and stuff. What's the next best thing to take a look at?
So I have two things if we have time we can do quickly. So one is on the Hedron page. So I like to look at this because if you move the slider on the left to day 261, or you can just type in where it says 1, if you just type in 261. So if you keep the one on the right to the very end, and then the one on the left, you just type in 261. Where it says
typing. Where do I need to type?
So on this one, you can slide it to the extreme right as far as you can to the end. Yeah, and then if you click on where it says 1, and then if you type in 261.
Oh, should I do it all the way to the left or to the right?
So the one on the right goes all the way to the right, and then the one on the left we want to set today 261. Gotcha. So 261 was, 90 days into so day 170 was the start of Icosa. So then 90 days was when the auction started. So on the right we can see the Hedron minting and Hedron burning. So we can see that 12.5 trillion was minted, but 8 trillion Hedron was burned. So we're burning around two-thirds of the Hedron that's been minted since the auction started. So I think that's an interesting metric to keep an eye on.
Wow.
So we've only increased by 4.6 trillion Hedron since the auction started. So I think it was around 112 trillion when the auction started in November, and now we're around 117.
So what kind of impact do you think that's made? Do you think the Hedron price will be lower had the auctions not burnt 8 trillion.
Well, like everything in Hedron and Icosa, everything is very nuanced, and there's a lot of factors at play. But I think it's just interesting that we're burning a good deal of what's been minted. So even though people are minting it to buy more HSIs or minting for various reasons, at the moment we're burning through a good deal of that. So I'm kind of curious to see after the the next 3 or 4 months, and after that, how many auctions are in the pool. So then the second thing I wanted to cover was the HSI auctions page. So this kind of shows the how many HSIs are in the pool. So we see there's a big day coming up in a day or two, and after May there isn't very many auctions here. So you can kind of use this to kind of gauge what days will be big yield or good for bidding in the auctions. And what also could be used for people is if you click the bonus filter, and then if you unselect the 0, so you might be only interested in HSIs that have a Hedron bonus, so you can use this to kind of see what days those ones are coming up.
Can I click off?
Yes, you just need to click anywhere on the dashboard, and that will kind of get rid of the filter.
That's
on the white. So if you click on anywhere on the white, that's not part of that drop down.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there's a little reset buttons that kind of appear different places as well. So I think you might have filtered something else as well, but I think there was like 400 teachers in there that had a Hedron bonus.
Yeah, I was filtering on April 22nd, I believe.
Yeah.
So 10.
So yes, you can just select them all and then unselect the 0, and you can kind of see how many have a Hedron bonus.
Oh, should I add everything but 0?
Yeah, so it depends on what your strategy is. You might only want a 10x, but you also might want a 9x or a 7x, or there's some 3x there as well. So this kind of shows you, how many Hedron bonus HSIs are in the auction pool.
That's cool.
So and then also what might be interesting is if you look at the table, if you click on stake T-shares, you can then sort by descending of stake T-shares. So we can kind of see there's a big one coming up on the 22nd with, the 1200 T-share one which doesn't have a bonus, so it's not showing now. But if we put in the 0 bonus ones, there's some big ones in there as well. So we can sort this by ascending or descending as well.
Dude, that's great. I actually want to use that.
And then we have a date range filter as well if you're looking at the past, future, different things like that.
So this is showing. I just want to say this is showing the biggest T-shared ones coming up for auction, but and their bonuses as well. So no bonus on this, but big T-shares. Have we seen them being valued differently for with the HSIs with 10x bonuses versus 0?
So I haven't done a deep dive analysis on it, but it looks like the bonus isn't a big factor in the price.
Figured it wouldn't be. I mean, it should be logically, but I figured people wouldn't be paying much attention to it.
The interesting part is when you get into the lower T-share HSIs that have the bonus on those ones are actually getting quite the premium in the auction. Like those are getting bid up quite high. When you start to get into the larger HSIs, maybe not so much, but the ones that were the look at that. I
know. Good luck, everyone.
The one that Huey had mentioned, like the 3x multipliers, there's a bunch of those in there that a whale had created for the system, and those still go for a higher premium. You won't get quite the discount on those as you would the others.
So we got some pros bidding from time to time. Very cool. Dude, this is awesome. Again, I mean, every time we use HEX model, we're like, thanks to Huey, but seriously, dude, like this is great. Super helpful for the community. Yeah, so if the website gets very busy, sometimes the pages don't load because some of these dashboards are kind of free and not paid. There's no pro version yet for them. So if it doesn't load, just kind of load it again, and then when someone else isn't loading, you'll get the full data down and you'll be able to view everything, and everything should work then. So why Pro? Why did you decide to do 2 different versions?
So I was just speaking about the Pro there was for the dashboard. So I use Looker Studio. So I'm waiting for Looker Studio to release Pro. And so then the website will be more scalable. So the idea of Pro is it's like it's an enterprise dashboarding tool, because so that means you're guaranteed to always get access to the data, and it will always work. And then it also means that you can have the data on a mobile phone app. So for example, if you're tracking the HSI auctions, you can see what ones have been started, and you don't have to be logged into your wallet all the time. So if you're out and about, you can access that. So that would be difficult to implement on the website. So it was easier to do with the Pro, with the enterprise app. So the reason why it's Pro is because to have like each customer of the app costs money. So Pro is just paying for that basically, and to pay for the hosting and different things on the website. So yeah, a lot of great devs in the community, building lots of stuff, and this website and all the things, it costs money to run. So support your favorite devs and your the websites they make, because a lot of time goes into it and it costs money to run as well. So I decided to go with the so a lot of people have made kind donations as well to the donation address. So I'm kind of moved to a pro model. So some of the data, might have some valuable information to have. So then that's worth paying Pro for. And then it also guarantees that you have the app on the phone, and you also have dashboards work all the time.
Gotcha. All right. With that, everyone who's still around, you stuck around or you just joined, we're going to get into the giveaways. So again, we have 9 more HEX Model Pros. By the way, Iron, what's his name? Iron something in the chat. Reach out to, it's a question too. I guess we haven't talked about Dev Huey. How do you want people to just reach out to you on Twitter? How can they contact you to the ones outside? We're going to do the tweet picker, so we'll have that information. But as far as the people doing the trivia, you just want them to at you or DM you on Twitter to tell you.
Yeah.
Hey,
So whoever wins, we just need to verify that they're the winner. So then if they can send their email address that they want to use as a username to my email address, which is on the website there, or tweet me on Twitter or Telegram as well, and then I'll onboard them to the Pro subscription and give them details how they can use the app. And it's not fully streamlined yet, so give a day or two for me to get back and invite you to the dashboards. And then if you need any help with it, I'm available to walk you through it as well if you need to set up the app or there's some issues, things like that.
Awesome.
So at the moment, the app, it's for, like everything on the website, I kind of release it as soon as it's ready, and there's a lot to do to kind of make things nicer and more streamlined. So the Pro app is a bit like that as well. So a lot of the work the last few months has just been automating it and getting the processes and the storage involved. So I haven't been focused on the design or the data as much yet, but that's planned for the future. And there's going to be new dashboards released every couple of weeks.
Nice. All right, let's get into it. Dev Huey's give me instructions. Let's see if I can follow them. Go into tweet picker and then load tweet here. I'll put in the tweet, load tweet. And then you want to just do all 5 at one time, Huey? Got any problem with that one?
Yeah, we can do all 5 at once, because people will watch it one by one. And
gotcha. This is a fair picker, fair launch, fair Twicker picker for the contest. I didn't know there was a website to do this, but makes sense. Cool.
Yeah, so a lot of these competitions, you're kind of suspicious. Like, did they just give the prizes to their friends? That's why I prefer to.
I like it.
Thanks for hosting this on the show, and it's good to do it transparent and live for everybody to see.
Of course, man. It's
not
loading.
So you just need to click on continue. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So then it's showing the
then-
total number of people. So yeah, 359 people retweeted, and then
Okay.
we just need to click continue again.
Okay. And then not show rejected. Yeah, we good to go?
Yeah, begin drum roll Giff. Excellent.
That was me too. All right, let's do it. We're doing it. We got 5 winners. We got Smitty, Pulse Smitty. We got Pulstachio. That's a cool name. Official Pistachio. We got Crypto Wonder at the Crypto Wonder. Jeff loves Hex. Jeff and a bunch of numbers. And PHEX Lab. PHEX Lab SC. Congratulations. You have a Hex Model Pro membership. And so if you are watching the stream, reach out to Dev Huey. If not, Dev Huey can reach out to you as well, because he can replay gang the stream and see this entry right here. I can even take a screenshot if he needs it. And awesome. Thanks to all the retweeters. 359, that's pretty cool. We got 5 winners here. Nice. Cool. All right, you need anything from this, Dev Huey?
No, so I'm going to check back on the stream, and I'm going to retweet these people and get their email address so we can sign them up to the Pro app for 1 year free.
1 year free. That's right. Awesome. Yeah, thanks for giving away 5. So we're giving away 6 so far. Giff gave away the first one near the beginning of the stream, and we have 4 more trivia questions. I hope to give away 4 more Hex Model Pros. 10 total today. So I'll stop sharing and we can get into, let me say hi to the chat real quick. Sorry, chat, I've been neglecting you today as if you are a child who just screams for attention, but I'm busy typing on a computer. Appreciate you all. I wonder what Alex is building. If it has anything to do with the Icosa price. I don't think Alex needs to build anything for Icosa price to go up for the last 30 minutes of stuff we went through, but he's building something amazing, I'm sure. That dude doesn't know how to fail. He doesn't know how to build anything bad.
I saw his picture where he was traveling on the airplane. I was wondering, was there a clue in the glass of beer that he had? Is there certain airlines that have? Can we figure out where he's going from that? Is there a clue in the photo? Could be. There's many conspiracies in there. What's a valuable 5x with monkey pictures? Could be, sir. Could be. Huyasi, you can't call them lettuce hands map 10 somewhere else by burning. I would please tell me where to, and I'm just maybe because the premise is, yeah, you want to burn them because you have other stuff you want to spend it on. Sure, I kind of covered that too. I was like, yeah, if you got bills to pay or whatever, of course you're gonna be burning them, take care of real life stuff. However, so we all see, if you know any 10 to 100x opportunities in the RH ecosystem, please let me know that I could invest in immediately to get gains without much risk, because I may burn some Watsons for that if you got some ideas, other than community projects and stuff that I don't know about yet. So anyways, that's what I was saying. I guess that was the point. But yeah, everyone, I'm sure people are burning them and putting them into other projects, and I wish them the best, but I can't. I don't want to unstake my Watsa, and I don't want to burn any Watsas right now. So I'm gonna roll the dice on my NFT, my DeFi NFTs. So Patrice, that's actually, yeah, awesome website. It is pretty awesome. Hex token just found out that Testnet V4 is live. Hex token is what do you call the word when robots come to life? Sentient. Hex token is sentient. Yes. Hex Fetty. Yeah, man, it's been a great stream. I think actually we are going to finish up. I'm gonna have like one more question or so, but I think we're going to finish up on the trivia, because it's been a good one though. Yo, what's up, Compassion? You can see. Please burn your Watsas. That's what everyone keeps saying. It's I don't know if that's good financial advice or not, but everyone keeps saying that. Anyways, let's get to trivia. Everyone, are you ready for trivia? Let me load up my trivia page here. Now, the usual rules with trivia. You need to be first in my chat, no one else's chat. In my chat, you have to be first with the correct answer, and you will win a copy or a subscription of Hex Model Pro. So I'm going to read the question, and then everyone, as fast as you can, type the answers in the chat. The first correct answer wins, and then you just get a hold of Dev Huey on Twitter or Telegram and tell him you won.
show proof if as necessary, and he will get you signed up, your email address and all that stuff. So first question is, where do many people suspect the PulseChain name originated from? Shut up, Giff. Shut up, Giff. Where do many people suspect? I've never heard confirmation. I don't think I've ever heard Richard confirm this on stream, and I've watched hours and hours, hundreds of hours of that man streaming. Never heard him confirm this. However, I've heard him talk around it a lot. Where did it come from? I think HEXBear got it. I think HEXBear. We're gonna go. That's good enough. We're gonna go with good enough on that one. HEXBear, you won. Okay, Richard Hart's last name. What does Schuler have to do with pulses? PulseChain. Please explain that one. Had a lot of great answers. This is for the time for chat to be dirty, and they're taking full advantage of it. I see. Not that dirty yet, but you guys are pretty tame from what I expected. But yes, HEXBear, yes, you won, and please reach out to Dev Huey to get your Hex model subscription. All right, next question. Richard Hart's book Scivive was originally created from a collection of his blank and then turned into a book. The book Scivive, Richard's book, one of his books, he got two, was originally created from a collection of his blank and turned into a book. First one with the correct answer. Oh, I see, Okari. I see. That makes sense. Sorry, I didn't get it the first time. For the second time, Fast Abdul, your answer of the size of Red Bull can is not correct. Appreciate that. The second question is, his book Scivive was originally created from a collection of his blank and then turned into a book. I know your brains are working right now, everyone. You're trying to figure it out. Ashtree, that is a very funny comment. Not so fast, Abdul. Not YouTube videos. Not journal either, although good guesses. It's got 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds, or we're going back to Tweet Picker and we're picking another one. NT Fryer. Hey, welcome, NT Fryer. Yeah, you're the one who brought up the Uniswap deal I was talking about earlier. Thank you for that tweet. That was a very helpful tweet. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to get this one, honestly. For me, I prompted it pretty well, but it's because I know the answer too. But maybe they won't get it. I don't know. Yeah, if I don't get a correct answer in 10 seconds, I'm going to let Giff and Dev Huey take a stab. F knows. Yeah, man. Glad to have you. You said some smart stuff on Twitter. Created a very good conversation, which helps me understand things better too. So I appreciate that. All right. No one's going to get this one. What do you guys think?
I actually don't remember. I remember him talking about it. I don't remember, though.
I recently clipped him talking about it a couple times, so it's super fresh in my mind. That's why I thought it was a good trivia question. Any ideas, Dev Huey?
So the question is, where did the Scivive come from, or what was it based on? I was going to guess a blog post.
Nope, a blog post. Man, I feel like it's so straightforward, but I think it's just because it's on my head. It's been on my mind lately. The answer is voice recordings. It's a collection of his voice recordings, and he had a pre-editor turn them into, had it transcribed, and then it had it turned into the pre-edited version of a book. Fun fact.
That was way too hard. Come on.
Voice recordings, really? Created from a collection of his. I mean, I guess it is. Like I said, I'm very biased on this answer because I knew what it was, and I've been clipping stuff, so it's very fresh in my mind. All right, number three. That one we're gonna have to do Tweet Picker to get the last one, I guess. Let's see, number 3. So I don't have an answer for this, so I need one of you to go get an answer, unless you know off the top of your head, and then obviously don't say the answer. But the number of endpoints burned so far for what's NFTs? What is the number of endpoints burned so far for what's NFTs? Hint, if you go to Def Huey's Twitter, you might be able to figure it out. I suspect. So we got Stephen R over 9,000. Yeah, what kind of threshold are we looking for? The exact number? What do you guys think we should take?
It's up to Huey. What do you think?
So how many endpoints have been burned?
What's an no, don't say the answer, but like, what's an acceptable answer? Like, would it be like the exact number or within 10 endpoints? You know, rounding.
Rounded to the nearest 10,000 or 100,000 maybe.
Okay, I'm just putting these up here. I think that's 1.7 million endpoints, or is it endpoints burned so far? Yeah, 21. It's not 21.
So
did
actually, we've just rolled over to the next day now. So I have the refresh figure in front of me. If you want.
Okay. Did we talk about this? Did somebody ask this question earlier? And we might have talked about it. Or is that the stats that you didn't quite have on the website yet that you said you're going to add?
So the total points is there. The total NFTs isn't there yet.
The number of endpoints burned so far. So I guess, yeah, the ones that have been burned out of the total is the answer we're looking for.
Are we accepting a percentage as well? Or I can give the percentage as a clue if that helps.
I don't know if anyone's going to give a percent. They haven't yet, but we can. But probably just the number. I see all the number ones so far. Is anyone close? Like any of the answers so far look close?
I'm just checking to see so Okari IO is close. As close as I see on my stream here. Yeah, I think that's within the tolerance, 1.1 million.
1.1. All right. Okari IO, congratulations.
Yeah, so the total number right today is, yes, 1,098,000, and that's 5.2% of total endpoints.
Nice. All right. Congrats. Yeah. At Dev Huey on Twitter and tell them you're a winner and you can get your subscription. All right. One more. It's number 5 on my list because we did number 4 earlier. So number 5 is, what DEX is PulseX a fork of? Think carefully about this one. What DEX is PulseX a fork of? It may not be the first answer that comes to your mind. Oh, here we go. NT Fryer wins it. Can't think of a better person. At the top. Ooh, yeah. Hex Bear, you were so close. You already won one anyway, so technically you didn't qualify, but nice. So we got a lot of right answers. Yeah, a lot of people think Uni V2, but it is technically not. Technically, it's Pancake Swap, which is a fork of Uni V2. So that's why everyone's like, oh, why can't you just do Uni V3? It's like, well, I don't know. Is Pancake Swap, do they have a Uni V3 version, or do we need to actually like do a lot more work on that? You know. So congratulations, NT Fryer. Please tweet at Dev Huey on Twitter and tell him you're a winner, and he will hook you up with a subscription to Hex Model Pro.
Yeah, so HexBear has already tweeted at me, and I've followed HexBear back, so I think they can message me now, or nice. I'll message them after the stream.
Awesome. Let's do the picker. You okay doing the picker one more time since nobody got the second question?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Do that. We'll up. So let's go back. I'll just go here again and paste in the tweet. So one other lucky Twitter person gets to win. Ooh, I had this on. Not sure if it matters, but too late now. And then let's do. All these are loaded. And then, shoot, did I put the? I didn't put the number of people, did I?
Yeah, 359. Yeah, you have one winner as well. So when you do the draw, it'll pick one.
Is it already? Did it already put one in there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll just do it, and we'll just pick one. Seriously? Okay. And then, all right, let's do it. Cool. One. Crypto. Oh man, did we just get this guy? I feel like we just did Crypto Wonder. Did he get picked again? That would be crazy. I swear, I can't rewind the stream right now, but I swear Crypto Wonder was on the previous one. Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
we can pick somebody else, and then if there's 11, then that's okay as well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Either way, if there's a duplicate, then yeah, let's do that. All right. And Hexecutive Dysfunctional at Shifty Sheep. You have won a Hex Model Pro membership. Awesome. Cool. Wow, we did 10 or 11 winners today. It's a lot of winners on Twitter and in the chat. Good job, everyone, for following the rules and guessing and winning stuff. And thanks to Huey for being generous with the subscriptions and all that. So let's go on this one. We got one more question. So what is the so PulseChain launches? Is there any strategies? If you guys have been thinking about any strategies around the auctions, you think there'll be an opportunity to pick some, get some good deals on some PHSIs? How have you all been thinking about when PulseChain launches? What maybe your plans or what some strategies could be, or will there be anything to do with the Hedron auctions? Either one of you can go first.
Yeah, well, I think there's a pretty good opportunity to start a bunch of those auctions, start the liquidations on those, because all the ones that are backed up at the that are basically able to be liquidated, that are just sitting there. The main reason why a lot of them don't get started, or the auction doesn't get started, is because of the gas fees associated with them. So you may see a type of tsunami into the market in the first 24, 48 hours. So it's something to keep your eye on. And Alex is going to have everything up and running right away, as fast as he is. So, don't get caught snoozing if that's a strategy you're looking at.
I would agree with that. I think because, the gas is going to be low on PulseChain, we're going to see the auctions started as soon as they're available. Whereas on Ethereum side, we see some sitting there. Even if you look back on the page on Hex Model, there's some around the period 12th to 14th of February, and people just kind of forgotten about those ones because there's so many and it costs a lot. But I think on PulseChain, they'll be bid right away. And then also throw another idea out is, there's this rumored migration that people are going to give up on the ETH chain and move completely to the PulseChain side. It's kind of one hypothesis. I'm kind of wondering, will people do the same with Wats's? Will we see excessive burning on the Ethereum side where people just kind of give up on those and then they move everything over to PulseChain? Or will people hold on to their Wats's and we'll see different burning on both chains?
How will the PHEX or the Hedron price play into this? Like, is there, even around the ratio trading part before the bridge or otherwise, is there, like, what if Hedron isn't valued that much? Is there any strategies for if it's really low for a while to be able to gobble that up and just hit the HSIs, or does everyone kind of have the same playing field as far as that goes?
Well, I mean, so if the ratio is skewed heavily towards p-hex, right, or hex, if it's ratioed towards hex, then you're going to have a big disparity with, how many hedrons equal 1 hex, which would then dictate, the fair value of these HSIs in the auction. So that could tilt the scales towards massive burning on the hedron side, right? So like if there's a big discrepancy in that, a hex is worth a lot more than the typical ratio between the two, then you have to burn more hedron to get up to the same valuation. So if that's the case, then you're looking at more yield and the cycle just continuing.
One other factor might be because people, if they've got small stakes, they might only mint their hedron once at the very end because of gas fees. But if you're on PulseChain, maybe you can mint your hedron, so maybe there'll be accelerated minting on PulseChain as well. So it's going to be fun. I think my plan is just to do nothing and see how it all plays out. Let Hex find its price, and then Hedron will find its relative price, and then we'll take it from there.
Nice. Well, it's very easy to do nothing, except in the moment you're like, I gotta trade something, ratios. Oh my gosh, what's a good deal? Will Sloth's website tell us what a good deal is with PulseChain stuff? Very cool, very cool. Maybe Hex model will have some new features by then too. Have you thought of? Yeah, we'll end on that. Dev Huey, have you thought of features that would be unique for PulseChain or be useful that you plan on adding to the website?
Yeah, so it's a challenge to add the 2 chains, and the question is where to put it all because there's so much data already, and it's going to need to find another RPC endpoint to get the PulseChain data. So I was pulling the data for the other 2 Ethereum chains, the Ethereum W and Ethereum F. So Gamma Crypto or Gamma DevOps was hosting a node for those for a while. So we actually have Hex and Hedron on those chains, even though it might not be worth a lot. And we have Watsas there as well. So there's actually 4 chains of Hedron and Watsas to look at. But yeah, PulseChain is obviously the main one, and Ethereum. So it's a challenge for just to crack all this data and display it, and it's gonna be fun times.
Fun times indeed. V4 is out. If everyone hasn't heard, V4 is out. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna go update my validator script stuff. Anyone interested in being a validator, I have I'll just post it in the chat real quick. The URL to look at the validator stuff. It's a script. If you have the hardware already set up, you can just run the script. It does most of the work for you, and then it tells you what else you need to do. And I will be updating it either tonight or tomorrow. The build. Trivia's over. Good guess though on the Red Bull can deal. It's if you keep trying enough, one of the questions that will be the answer to. If anyone's interested in being a validator, feel free to check it out. I have a reset script and some other stuff to see if you can try multiple times, and I've been using in my dev environment as well. So everyone, there's your 2-hour stream. I haven't did a 2-hour stream for a while because it's exhausting, but we did it today. We did it today, didn't we? Where's the PulseX V4 link? Let me see. I think I still have it up. I'll get it for you. Just for you, DJ and Dougie. Just for you. Say that, and then I can't remember. What did I tell myself to do? All right. I'm going to get it. Go back to my Twitter. Going back to my Twitter. Here you go. There you go, man. Enjoy, everyone. At dev_Huey on Twitter. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
And you hexmetal.com. You don't have YouTube, or you have any other social media or anything you want to share?
So Telegram is at dev_Huey as well. And the email is hexmodelhuey@gmail.com. If the winners want to reach out, or if there's any questions about the website or the app. And yeah, it's been great to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. Of course. Thanks for coming on. Been a blast. Giffordware at Giffordware, just the way it sounds and looks and appears on his screen there. And then he's going to be coming up with a best-selling and winning podcast soon, I think, because he was practicing on the show earlier with Dev Huey. They're going to call it Stake or Die. That sounds like Staking Die, DAI too. But they're still working on the name, but it'll be great. Follow these two gents if you want some Hedron Alpha HEX information. If you just want to know more about the ecosystem and what's going on, great resources. I follow them both on Twitter and rely upon a lot of their products and information as well. So everyone, appreciate you both coming on. Again, I'm about to go pass out and enjoy the rest of my evening. Hopefully you two guys do that as well. Chat, you're awesome as usual. With that being said, Scivive and 5555, everyone.